time to go over some of the finer details.
National Treasure was released on November 19th, 2004, to a budget of $100 million, but it made $347.5 million, which is easily our highest grossing film that we've done so far. By a lot. I mean, like $100 million more than, I think Ghost Rider was the highest grossing that we had done up to this point. 347 million is... It's nothing to sneeze at. You can see why they made more of them, why they're going to make more of them.
Yeah. I knew it was a big film. I didn't realize it made that much money, though.
$350 million pretty much on a $100 million budget. So, if you do the Hollywood math, it made $47 million.
3 times the budget. There you go.
Yeah. Directed by John Turteltaub, who also has such amazing credits as Three Ninjas.
Hey, yes.
Cool Runnings.
Hell yeah.
Phenomenon, that movie with Travolta.
I saw that.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Or like he gets like psychic powers from a brain.
He's like an angel or something.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
He thinks he's an angel.
Supposed to be like
I can't remember. I saw that movie in theaters.
Oh, God.
And then The Meg, which that movie that just came out not super long ago with
love it,
Rainn Wilson and was it Jason Statham, right?
Yeah.
And then he teamed back up with Nicolas Cage later on to do Sorcerer's Apprentice.
So he worked with Bruckheimer and stuff as the who's the producer.
He's a Bruckheimer guy.
He's one of Bruckheimer's go-tos, and then of course he directed National Treasure 2, and I'm assuming he's going to direct National Treasure 3. We'll get to it, but there's actually a National Treasure TV series that Disney Plus wants to do as well. So we are not done with the National Treasure series, and I'm assuming that Nick Cage is probably going to show up at some point in those Disney Plus episodes. So
probably, it'll be about some young scrappy kids doing it.
Yeah, that's the idea, is like it's going to be kids. Yeah.
Pass the torch.
It'll be his children, hopefully.
It'll be Kal-El.
Riley will be a crypto bro now. Because he seems like an idiot. So.
He does.
He has to come back to hunt and treasure because he lost all his money in Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
I invested $100,000. I'm negative $3 million now. Nick, we gotta find another treasure. I mean,
okay.
I'll do it for you. One last time.
We gotta bail Riley out. Written by Jim Koof. I don't know how to say it. It's Kouf. Koof.
Koof.
Yeah.
Koof.
I have no idea. Hopefully one of those is correct.
He wrote Stakeout, and another Stakeout, and then the Rush Hour. I think he just wrote the first Rush Hour movie, not these sequels.
Yeah, the sequels were written by other writers. Yeah,
and then also the team of Cormac and Mayan. Is it Mayan?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Wibberley. Some fun names in there, who are kind of script doctors. They've jumped into a bunch of different movies and stuff, but their most popular are The Sixth Day, with that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that everybody forgot exists. I Spy. They did the Charlie's Angels, Fully Loaded. Bad Boys 2. That's another time we had the story of Bad Boys from what's his name from Trapped in Paradise.
Yeah.
And then National Treasure 2, and then they also co-wrote G-Force, which is that animated Nick Cage film, which we will eventually do. I don't know what to do with those animated films. Like we have to do them at some point.
Just do a mini episode or an episode that combines.
That's what I thought, but at the same time, like he has big roles in a lot of those movies.
Yeah.
So
do it by movie basis. If he's a main character in it, then
full episode.
Like something like Into the Spider-Verse, he's only in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's a great movie that I just really want to watch.
But like we'd be covering most of the stuff that's not Nicolas Cage. So
yeah, it has nothing to do with Nick Cage. So
yeah. He doesn't show up until like halfway through the second act.
Yeah,
Or towards the end
and he
of the
really
second
only
act.
has a few lines.
He has
I
like
rewatched
10
it
lines in
recently.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
He just seems like he's in it a lot more because he's Nicolas Cage.
And he's just doing his shtick from Dog Eat Dog, his Humphrey Bogart.
I'm a Spider-Man. See,
I think they must
save
have
the world.
They must have done the voice work for that around the same time that they filmed Dog Eat Dog, so that may have been
I think so.
You know
Yeah,
what?
may
That's
have
so
led
funny.
to the other.
You're right.
Because
That
he was
is around
probably
the
just
same time, huh?
practicing for
that
Into
movie
the
came out in
Spider-Verse.
2018, and they would have probably done all the recording in about 2016 or something, which is when Dog Eat Dog came out. So he probably had just done Dog Eat Dog and was I could do a Humphrey Bogart.
Or vice versa. Maybe he had done Dog Eat Dog, and then he was like, "Oh crap, I have to do that same voice in this."
Paul Schrader's like, wait, I have a friend that's working on another film. I think you'd be perfect for the role, Nick. Do that Humphrey Bogart impression for him.
Should see Paul Schrader do an MCU movie. Be amazing.
And then Iron Man comes out and calls a guy a monkey. It's Rhodes.
Jesus.
God, that
This is a
Facebook
family-friendly
Yeah.
movie that we're talking about here. We gotta.
Paul Schrader said it, not me.
No. His character
watched the
said it,
interview
not
with
Paul
him.
Schrader said it.
I watched the interview with him from like the 70s on some talk show or something, and it was right after he did some movie about this Japanese guy who killed himself in public. I can't remember the name of it. But I'm like, yeah. He's like, no one else would touch the script, so I thought I'd be a natural person to do it. So, natural white American guy doing some story about a Japanese guy who killed himself for some protest in public.
Was that
Committed
the story of the monk who burned himself to protest the Vietnam War?
that was the Vietnam War. But there's apparently, I somebody will know this, but it was some movie he did about some Japanese guy who committed seppuku, like very publicly and recently, and it made a bunch of recently as of the 70s. So, yeah, and apparently Paul Schrader thought he was a natural to adapt that into a movie, so he did.
Makes sense. I can see it.
He was a weird guy even back then. Like it was like him in his 30s, I think, on the thing, and even though you could tell he's just this weird guy, kind of guy who would write Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. To be fair, you watch Taxi Driver, you don't think that was written by like a normal, everyday, ordinary dude.
Yeah, and he goes into that too. I think like he's attracted to those kinds of stories about weird
It's because he is one.
outcasts
Yeah.
in normal society. Yeah.
This was shot by Celeb Deschanel. Celeb. Is that a name?
Caleb.
Caleb?
It could be like, Caleb.
I think
Caleb.
it's a guy, but I haven't looked up, pictures or anything. But it's always funny, like when I actually put the edit together, then I see the picture of the person. That's the first time I see the picture of the person is when I'm putting the picture into the show, and I'm like, oh shit! Like Pig. I actually got the name wrong. I think I put like Michael something or other, and it was Patrick something or other. So I couldn't find any pictures of them. So we totally screwed that up on the show.
So it says Caleb on IMDb.
Caleb. Okay. Did I spell it wrong or something?
You put Celeb. You put like celeb, but it's spelled Caleb CALEB.
Okay.
So yeah,
So it's
Caleb Deschanel, and he is the father of Zoe Deschanel, and
Oh, wow.
I was going to make a joke about, I love your daughters.
yeah, he's the daughter or the
I didn't
father
know he was
of
actually
Emily
the father
Deschanel
of
and
them.
Zoe Deschanel. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. I was going to make a joke about that, not thinking he was actually related to them in any way.
Me too.
Anyway, sir, I love your daughters. They're great actresses.
Well, Caleb is famous for shooting The Right Stuff, The Patriot, that Mel Gibson film, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, the Jack Reacher, I think at least the first movie, the new Lion King with Jon Favreau, and then also directed 3 episodes of Twin Peaks, and that's kind of where he really branched off, was starting out with David Lynch, and I can't wait till we do Wild at Heart and really get to see David Lynch's...
He did Passion of the Christ too, so that Mel Gibson connection.
Yeah.
The Patriot, Passion of the Christ.
Dang.
DP for hire, do
Yeah, pretty good resume though. He's
That's
got
before we hated
pretty
Mel Gibson,
substantial-
remember?
Yeah.
It's like he's done 39 projects as a cinematographer, so
Yeah.
pretty hefty resume.
It's a huge resume. Edited by William Goldberg. I've started adding edited by and music by because I feel like those are important parts of this. And there's a lot of tie-ins. Like if we really watch the writers and the music between, especially with these Bruckheimer films and Nick Cage's like late 90s, early 2000s action run, which are pretty interesting. So this one was edited by William Goldberg, who also edited Heat. The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a sadly kind of forgotten Samuel L. Jackson film that was really, really, I mean, I haven't seen it in 20 years, but I remember it being really good. Edited Ali, Seabiscuit, which I think he didn't win an Oscar for that. Gone Baby Gone, The Imitation Game, which just came out, not super long ago. And then Argo, which he won a Academy Award for editing. Also edited all the Transformer movies.
Well, listen, he has a lot of great films that he edited. So if he wants to cash in, I totally support that. 'Cause, I mean, he's all those edits were incredible on those films.
Aside from the Transformers movies,
No. I'm saying other than the Transformer ones, right? Like, let him
I'm sure
cash
the
in,
Transformers
make that
edit was
money.
exactly what Michael Bay wanted.
it
so
is, yeah.
Exactly.
Probably did a good job there.
Cut, explosion. Cut, explosion.
I saw somebody describe it as take all of your silverware and spray paint half of them red and half of them blue, and then shake the drawer around for a little while, and you have Transformers.
Yeah. How the hell are you supposed to edit that? I guess you did
And
the
then you just
best.
have to go as you're doing it.
And then music by Trevor. Music by Trevor Raven, I think is how you say his last name, who was the guitarist for Yes, the prog rock band from 83
hell?
until 95. He wrote Owner of a Lonely Heart while he was on the toilet, wrote the entire thing, start to finish, which was
makes
kind
a
of
lot
their
of
big
sense.
hit,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
tracks,
When you think of that band, you think of that song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
At least I do.
And when you
Put
think
it
of
on
that
the
song,
toilet.
you think, yeah, I could have wrote this on the toilet.
Yeah. That's where I mainly listen to it.
It just reminds me of that scene in South Park when he's like coming up with music, his Lord music on the toilet. Owner of a lonely fart. Oh, wait. I could turn this into something
do
else. I like this. He scored over 40 feature films, which is a ton, including such wonderful films as Con Air, Gone in 60 Seconds, National Treasure Book of Secrets, G-Force, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and some other ones. Yeah, we won't talk about those ones because they don't feature Nicolas Cage. But all of those films, that's crazy. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 films that Nicolas Cage has done that were scored by Trevor Raven.
Yeah, he's a Bruckheimer guy, apparently.
He is, and he also
That's why
did
Bruckheimer
a
was
lot
the
of
go-to
Michael
guy.
Bay's films as well.
He just had lots of connections.
I had to ask, though, how the fuck do you... sorry, this is family friendly. How the flip-flap do you score Gone in 60 Seconds? Just mash a bunch of buttons on the keyboard?
Just have music that goes and then do that for 2 hours.
I feel like I mentioned it on the Gone in 60 Seconds episode that it just felt like there's this just kind of library of cookie cutter Michael Bay-esque music, but it turned out it was all done by the same guy.
He created that library.
He did.
So kind of right, yeah.
Okay.
Probably went a long way into making that movie feel like a Michael Bay movie, even though
It did make it really feel like a Michael Bay movie because this guy is kind of Michael Bay's go-to composer.
Yeah.
So ratings. So I added a bunch of extra ratings because I feel like the aggregate score is kind of misleading sometimes, and I feel like sometimes it can kind of paint a film in a different way, and I feel like we need more touch points than just like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. But Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 46%, 5.3 out of 10 on 179 reviews. So critics not super stoked on it, but the audience 76%. which I've noticed across the board with this film is like the audience loves it, the critics hate it.
Yeah.
Which I totally get. And I think we'll get to as we're kind of breaking it down. I saw Roger Ebert said that you could switch this out with a Monty Python film and keep the script exactly the same, which I feel like is harsh, but
that'd be a way better movie, I think.
just same script, but just switch out to Python and have them do goofy stuff while they're doing this.
Clacking coconuts as gunfire.
Metacritic score is 39%. Ooh.
Ouch.
But then again, we jump back to the audience. It's 6.9 out of 10 from IMDb, which is like, I think there's like 200,000 ratings on that. So about a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then cinema score, which I just added, A-. I really don't understand the cinema score and how they arrive at what they arrive at.
Yeah, I know that like basically anything less than an A- is bad for cinema score.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's usually an indicator of how poor a movie's going to do if it gets less than an A-. Because I think what cinema score is it's a poll of people from like night of premiere, like coming out of the movie, like the first batch of people to see the movie and then getting their immediate reaction to it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which generally tends to be higher. If it's the type of person who's going to like the night of release of a movie, they're excited for it. They want to see it. They're usually fans of it if it's a franchise. So they'll tend to score it higher than, a critic will or the average audience over time. So the lower that score is on the first right out the gate, usually the worse it portends for the movie. And like, and it's also an indicator of how good the legs of the movie will be, like how long it'll stay in theaters and how much money it'll make. So if it's like a B+ or a B or a B-, it usually means the audiences were really tepid on it out the gate, which means it's going to tank word of mouth wise and it's not going to do well over time. But yeah, generally cinema score, it's like an A or an A- is a good movie. Anything lower than that is like not or not going to do well. It's kind of how it works out as I've observed it.
It seemed like they made a big deal about No Way Home getting an A+, and now it kind of feels like that's not. It's not like, oh my God, that's mind blowing.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is in the sense that like that means that almost everybody who came out of that theater loved that movie, and so that's a pretty good indicator of how the general audience will react to it. Yeah. But if it's like almost everybody who came, if it's a B or a B-, it's like a decent chunk of people who were excited to see the movie were not that great. Weren't that sold on it, and that means it's not going to go over well with the rest of the audience's general audience stuff.
Yeah. So well, A-, I guess isn't.
And I can see this movie being pretty pleasing to general audiences, so A- makes sense.
Oh yeah. I think it's we'll get to it as we rate it and talk about it, but it's just kind of a, I don't know, it's just kind of a feel good, kind of family film, and there's nothing like particularly hateable about it, and there's nothing really particularly like lovable about it at the same time.
You can just throw this on in the background at any time and just have it play, and
it's popcorn.
Yeah, it's a popcorn.
It tastes good.
Tentpole style movie,
but no substance.
Yeah.